You know what I'm talking about, right? Bread, rice, potatoes, all the good stuff. But it seems like they're always the first things we're told to get rid of, especially if we're trying to manage our blood sugar. But what if that's not the whole story? What if you could actually enjoy those carbs without the guilt? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down the science-backed tricks that let you do exactly that without sending your blood sugar on a wild ride. It's a super common frustration, isn't it? The idea that to be healthy, you got to ditch some of your absolute favorite foods. But it really doesn't have to be an all-or-nothing game. The truth is, there are smarter ways to eat that let you manage your glucose and improve your health, all without completely giving up on these staples. So, let's get into it.
We've got 6 really practical strategies lined up for you. Think of this as your new toolkit for being a carb genius. We're going to cover everything from a ridiculously simple kitchen hack and how to pair your foods, all the way to the surprising impact of when and in what order you eat.
Okay, let's kick things off with one of the coolest, but probably least known tools in our arsenal. This is a simple trick that actually changes the food you eat on a molecular level. It sounds complicated, but trust me, it's not. Let's talk about something called resistant starch. The name kind of gives it away, right? It resists digestion. See, normal starches break down into sugar really fast, causing that glucose spike. But this stuff, your body can't break it down so easily. Instead, it actually becomes food for the good bacteria in your gut, which helps improve your insulin sensitivity and can even lower inflammation. It's pretty amazing.
So how do you make this magical stuff? It could not be easier. You cook your rice, potatoes, or pasta just like you always do. Then, the key step, you cool it down completely. We're talking stick it in the fridge for about 24 hours. That cooling process is what transforms some of the regular starch into that awesome resistant starch. And get this, you can reheat it. The benefits stick around even after you warm it back up.
All right, moving on to our next strategy. This one's a big one, and it's built on a simple rule. Never, ever eat a naked carb. That means carbs shouldn't go out alone. What you eat with them can totally change how your body handles them. So, your carbs need a buddy, ideally one of these 3: protein, healthy fats, or acids. Adding protein can literally slash the glucose spike. Healthy fats are great because they slow down how fast food leaves your stomach. And acids, this one might surprise you. Things like vinegar or a squeeze of lemon can actually slow down starch breakdown and make your muscles more sensitive to insulin. Just think about a classic like rice and beans. It's a perfect example. It's not just a tasty combo, it's metabolically brilliant. The protein and fiber in the beans put the brakes on everything, so you get a much slower, gentler blood sugar rise compared to if you just ate a bowl of plain white rice.
Okay, this next one is just fascinating. You could eat the exact same meal, same food, same calories, everything, and get a wildly different blood sugar response. And it all comes down to one tiny change: the order you eat your food in.
Here's the golden rule. Start with your protein and veggies. Save the carbs for last. By eating the fiber and protein first, you give them a head start. They slow down digestion and make it so the glucose from the carbs enters your bloodstream much more slowly and steadily. So next time you have a meal, eat the chicken and salad first, then have the bread at the end.
And we're not talking about a tiny difference here. This chart pretty much sums up what clinical trials have found. When folks with type 2 diabetes ate their protein and veggies before their carbs, that big glucose spike was just gone, dramatically lower. Same food, just a different order of operations.
In fact, one really important study showed that just by eating your carbs last, you can slash your total glucose spike by up to 40%. That is a massive return on investment for such a simple change to your habit.
Okay, so you've cooked your carbs right, you've paired them with a buddy, and you've eaten them in the right order. Now what? Now it's time to activate your body's secret weapon from mopping up any leftover glucose. And it's as simple as it sounds. Just get up and move. Seriously, a quick 10-minute walk right after you eat is unbelievably effective at blunting a post-meal glucose spike. It doesn't have to be a crazy workout. Just walking around the block, doing the dishes, or walking up and down the stairs works wonders. So why does a simple walk work so well? Well, the secret is a special muscle in your calf called the soleus. Think of this thing as a metabolic powerhouse. When you walk, it fires up and starts sucking glucose right out of your bloodstream for fuel. And the cool part is it's made of slow-twitch fibers, which means it can just keep going and going, soaking up glucose for a long time without getting tired.
All right, let's switch gears for a second. So far, we've been talking about hacks to manage pretty much any carb. But honestly, the most important thing is realizing that the type of carb you choose from the get-go makes a huge difference. This quote really nails it. It's time we stop treating all carbs like they're the bad guy and start focusing on quality. How processed a carbohydrate is totally changes how fast it hits your system.
I love this analogy. Think of super-processed carbs, white bread, most breakfast cereals, pastries, as kindling for a fire. They burn up really fast and hot. You get a huge, sharp spike of energy, followed by an inevitable crash. Now think of whole food high-fiber carbs, like steel-cut oats, barley, or beans, as big, solid logs. They burn slow and steady, giving you consistent, even energy for hours.
And that brings us to our final strategy. And this one is all about the clock. Because it turns out that when you eat can be just as crucial as what you eat.
Your body runs on an internal 24-hour clock. It's called your circadian rhythm, and it controls pretty much everything, including how well you handle sugar. Basically, our bodies are built to process food and glucose really well in the morning and afternoon. But as the day winds down, our insulin sensitivity naturally drops off. Our bodies even start making melatonin, which tells our pancreas to chill out on the insulin.
So, the rule here is simple but really powerful. Just give your body a break. Try to finish eating for the day at least 3 hours before you hit the sack. This gives your system plenty of time to deal with that food while it's still running efficiently, which means way better blood sugar control while you sleep.
So there you have it, your complete 6-point toolkit for eating carbs without the chaos. From cooling your starches to make them resistant, to pairing them up, eating them last, taking that quick walk, choosing logs instead of kindling, and watching the clock on your last meal. Every single one of these is a powerful tool you can start using literally today.
Hey, listen, you don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. That's not how this works. The real power is just starting. So, looking at this list, what's one small thing you can actually commit to trying? Maybe it's just adding a handful of nuts to your oatmeal, or taking a quick walk after dinner tonight. Just pick one and give it a shot.